Again. Let's see. Can you able to see me? Yeah. Let me try on here again. What is happening, y'all? Is this because Mercury's in retrograde? What is going on? Manage my account. I want to go to my channel. We can go back. Okay. If anyone's watching, hi. Having some technical difficulties, so I'm trying to get that going. I got booted off a second ago. Okay, so I've got myself live. Volume's working. I'm going to get the chat going. So, hi, welcome. Am I frozen? No? Okay, cool. It's been a while. Drop me a line in the YouTube chat and let me know how you're doing. Cool. So we're getting started in about 5 minutes, friends. Yeah, I'm just going to be kind of hanging out, talking at you for the time being. I've got my laptop here with me, so if you want to drop me a line in that YouTube chat, I'd love to know how you are. It's been quite a while since I've live streamed with you. So yeah, let me know how you're doing. I've missed teaching. Let's think, things and stuff. If you happen to be one of my students in studio, Black Swan has reopened at partial capacity. I will not be returning to studio until the end of July or early August. So heads up on that. There's still plenty of dope teachers out there. So if you want to go practice, yeah, Black Swan is reopened, limited capacity. Make sure you reserve your spot online ahead of time. Make sure you bring all of your own props, your own mat, towel, water, all the things. We're still running a limited live stream schedule. So if you don't feel comfortable going back to studio, we're still here for you. You can always feel free to reach out to me directly as well through my Instagram. I did post a playlist for you today if you want some jams for practice. That is on my IG story at the.anna.mc. Yeah, got a couple minutes till we get started. Show practice for you. It's been a while since I've moved my body. Not even gonna lie about that. I haven't been on my mat in a few weeks. So that's fun. So yeah, we'll just be doing a chill practice today, kind of stretching a little bit. What else? We have 3 minutes till we get started, I think. Let's see, how long have I been streaming? Cool. I'm gonna update our website real quick. And we'll get started in a couple minutes. There we go, website is live. Cool. Starting in about 2 minutes. Hi friends, I see someone else hopping on. We're getting started in 2 minutes. If you're watching on YouTube, drop me a line in the chat bar. Let me know how you are. Happy Pride to all my gabies out there. Love you. I see you. I hope that if you are celebrating, you're doing it safely and consciously. Celebrating from home, perhaps. Today's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Love you. So that's what's happening in my little corner of the world. Yeah, I'm currently in isolation so that I can go see my mother and my father. So yeah, that's it. You'll notice if you flowed with me before that I'm in a different space. I'm isolating at a friend's house. So yeah, that's what's happening. I don't know. You can talk to me on YouTube or not, whatever. Yeah, starting in about a minute or so, we're going to start in child's pose today. So go ahead and get your space all set up. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Hanging out, moving our bodies a little bit. That's all I really got for you. Oh, I can barely touch my toes, y'all. My body's all stiff. Hi, welcome back. Getting started in about a minute. We're starting a child's pose. Oh, cool, a couple people hopping on. Welcome, y'all. It's good to be back. I have not taught on our live stream in quite a while. Got a chill practice for you. Yeah, the AC just kicked on here, so that's cool. Hopefully you can still hear me. Drop me a line in the YouTube chat or message me on IG after class if you want to talk, if you want to chat, if you have any questions. I did post some jams for you on my IG story, so those of you just joining, if you would like some music, I would go ahead and sync that up now as we are starting momentarily. Happy Pride babies. All right. Let's do it. I'm just gonna throw this somewhere. I don't know where. Nowhere, because my battery's dying anyway. So cool. I'm gonna close this up then, and hopefully I'll catch up with y'all after class. Okay, we're gonna start in child's pose. Child's pose. So we are gonna be here for a few minutes. If you know child's pose is not an accessible shape for your body to be in for a few minutes, you can start somewhere else. Maybe that's a tall, comfortable seat. Maybe that's on your back. For your child's pose, I want you to find a shape that feels good. So this is going to look different for all of us. Good place to start. Sit on your feet, big toes touching, and then from there, play with the distance between your legs, right? I like a nice wide-legged child's pose, but maybe you bring your thighs together to touch. And we're going to wiggle on in. Oh yeah. Taking your forehead down to the mat. If it doesn't rest comfortably on your mat, you can always grab a yoga block or a book to slide underneath your head. Find a comfortable extension of your arms, whatever the hell that looks like for you. Wiggle that rib cage to rest on or between your thighs. Allow yourself to come to stillness and close your eyes. As you arrive in this stillness, begin to drop into the rhythm of your breath. Without changing, without judging, simply notice it. Notice the spaces that your breath is filling. And notice how that affects your body. Can you feel your belly and rib cage expanding and contracting against your thigh? What else do you notice here? Drop into the physical as you take a little scan from head to toe. Perhaps you check in with all the different points where your body makes contact with your mat. Perhaps you check for any tension, any discomfort. And then you assess what's within your control and what's not. Here in this stillness, can you make a conscious effort to release? To let go of all that's unnecessary, starting with the tension. Unfurl your eyebrow. Unclench your jaw. Relax your neck. shoulders and thighs. Now let's begin to focus our breath. Start by sending your breath down to the lowest point in your belly first, simply focusing on filling that space. As you fill the space in your low belly, can you also feel the small of your back expand? Now can you fill up your belly and your rib cage? How does that change? Now what happens if you choose to also fill up your chest? So we're filling all three chambers now: belly, ribs, chest. And as you focus on this breath, can you notice that it's not just the front of your body that expands, but also the back? Oftentimes there's two sides to things, but we only see one. Yogis, throughout practice, try to keep your breath full and steady, just like this, filling all three chambers, noticing how it affects the body, and keeping those exhales even. Before we get moving, perhaps here in this stillness with yourself on your mat, you choose to set an intention for this practice. This can be anything that brought you to your mat today. Maybe you choose to examine the commonly unexamined, to turn over stones, to see what's on the other side. Find something that feels true and necessary, and just invite it into your mind's eye. Let's take a breath together. Take a deep inhale. And slow and steady open mouth release. Good. Now if your arms aren't already fully extended, just crawl your arms to the top of your mat. Flatten out your hands, spread your fingers wide, then press through your hands so that your hips actively press closer towards your heels. You need to feel a little bit of stretch here. Allow the elbows to slightly lift up off the mat, just a little bit. Send the breath to the space between the shoulders. Good, now lift your forehead up slightly. We're going to start to crawl the hands over to the left. Allow the rib cage to rest on or inside the left thigh. You might notice how you feel the stretch along the right side of your body. You can choose to let the stretch stay completely passive, or you can make that right hand a little more active by, again, spreading the fingers, pressing through the hand, allowing the elbow to lift off, wrapping the shoulder down into the armpit. Focus your breath to the right rib cage. Good. Allow the elbow to relax back down. Lift your forehead slightly, both elbows lift, and we're just going to crawl on over to the right side. Same exact thing, allowing the rib cage to nestle inside or on top of the right thigh, forehead down. Left arm can remain entirely passive, or we can activate, wrapping that shoulder down into the armpit and breathing to the left side body. And then we're going to press back through the hands, coming back through center. Press your hips closer towards your heels for a big breath in and out. Beautiful. And then on an inhale, pull yourself forward to a tabletop. We're going to go ahead and just take a little bit of organic movement here, because I know I had you in that child's pose for a while. So just any little movements you need to take to get the blood flowing back in. I want to acknowledge that staying in a child's pose for that long is not easy for most folks. But I also want you to know that a passive child pose is also something that's really great that you can do for your low back. So just know it's not easy, right? But it will become easier over time, and it's something that can be very good for you. So just, there's that. Take a couple breaths here. Move it around, get the blood flowing. And if you know me, you know damn good and well, we're gonna warm up with some cat-cows, right? So come to that neutral tabletop, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, spread wide through your fingers. Now make sure you still have that slight upward engagement of the belly, right? We don't want to be just sway back here. There's a big difference between this and this. So we start from a point of a slight engagement, soften gently through the elbows. Then on the inhale, the belly drops, gaze and tailbone lift up. Now this is your cow pose. I know it's confusing because we always say cat cow, but we actually start with cow, right? So we drop the belly, letting the muscles in the belly relax and disengage. Shoulders sliding down the back, open up through your throat. This is not just a one breath, one movement situation. Let's hold here for a big inhale to the belly. Big exhale. One more breath in. Then on the exhale, we lead with the pelvis. We draw the navel up and in. We round up the spine, one vertebrae at a time, and then the chin tucks to the chest. Pause in your cat pose. As we press the ground away, can you feel that space between the shoulder blades opening up? Again, that unexamined space, that back side of the body, that's also our heart space, not just the chest. Stay here, full breath in, full breath out. And inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze and tailbone up. Exhale, press, curl, round. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale, round it out. Yogis, I want you to cycle through this a few more times on your breath. Maybe you close your eyes as you drop into this movement, right? Again, these little things we can do for ourselves that are just immensely good for our body, for our spine. Begin to notice the breath here. I challenge you to stay until you're completely full and totally empty. A breath can take a very long time if you simply allow it. Again, examining our spaces. And maybe you invite some circles into the spine and hips here. If you've practiced with me before, you've probably done this. Maybe not, you have a couple breaths, right? So you can stick with that cat-cow, you can circle it out, any variations you need to take. Beautiful, yogis. Start to make your way back to neutral. Let's do a little bit of a wrist warm-up here. So right now we have all 10 fingers pointing forward, right? Let's start by turning all 10 fingers backward toward our thighs. We still have our palm facing flat on the mat, but our thumbs are facing toward the outer edge. Now from here, maybe you try a little cat-cow. You see how this variant has changed this. Maybe take a little shift forward and backward. Side to side. Circles. Can you keep your breath steady? Good. And come to stillness here. Now we're going to turn the fingers to face in toward each other. I like to think kind of like a pigeon-toed bulldog here, right? So now the wrist creases are facing the edges of the mat and all 10 fingers are facing in toward each other. Try it out, a little shift forward, backward. Little shift side to side. Maybe it's a circle. A cat-cow. Bend the elbows. Beautiful. Now let's turn the fingers away from each other. So our fingers are facing the edges of the mat. Forward, backward. Side to side. circles. Our wrists, y'all, in our vinyasa practice, they take the brunt of so much of our weight, especially when you're first learning. So just showing them a little bit of love goes a really long way. Good. And last but certainly not least, the first one we started with, remember where the fingers were facing back towards our legs, right? We're going to do that, but with the backs of our hands on the mat now, so that your palms are facing up towards your torso. Now this one is like my least favorite. It's super intense, so I always have to be really gentle. A little rock forward, backward. Feel that stretching into the forearms. Little rock side to side. And this is going to be different, right? So you don't have to go where you went before, right? It's okay to just let it be smaller. Maybe try a cat-cow here. And maybe wiggle the fingers out. And let that go. Good. Let's work on a little shoulder opener now. From here on an inhale, we're going to take that right arm up toward the ceiling, rolling the left rib cage open. Draw your shoulder down and back. Then on the exhale, we thread the needle. We're going to take the right shoulder and ear down to the mat. And we're going to take that left arm all the way out in front of us, palm facing flat like we did in that child's pose. Now from here, actively press your right shoulder toward the right edge of your mat. And again, we breathe to the space between the shoulder blades. That less examined heart space. And let's take the left hand back underneath the shoulder. Inhale to press up, reach up again. Exhale, plant your hand down. The left arm goes up on the inhale. Draw the shoulder down, open the ribs. Exhale, thread the needle, shoulder and ear down to the mat. Right arm along in front, palm down, elbow wrapping down. Press your left shoulder toward the left edge of your mat. Focus the breath between the shoulder blades. Good. Take your right hand back underneath your shoulder. Inhale, press up, reach up. Exhale, hand goes down. Single cat-cow, inhale, belly drops. Exhale, round it out. Inhale to a neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes. Let's exhale to a down dog. Send your hips up and back. Oh yeah, take a few beats here, friends. Oh man, down dog is such a big stretch. So, explore it, right? This is a big shape. It's still early on. Play with bending one knee generously, and then the other. And as you explore here, just take a look at your hands. Make sure they're about shoulder distance. You're spreading your fingers wide. And we're pressing through the tips of our fingers, not just the palms of our hands, right? Triceps are slightly wrapping in. Shoulders are plugging down the back. Navel's pulling upward to lift the tailbone. Good. Let's bend both knees generously and then just tip the hips over to the left. Through center, over to the right. Through center, over to the left. Through center, over to the right. Good, and then we're going to come through center. Both knees bent here. Notice how the ribcage is pressing back toward the thighs. Actively drive your chest and ribs toward your bent knees. Now from here, straighten your legs back out to a down dog. My nose ring is hooked on my dang old shirt, y'all. All these silly holes in this shirt. All right, so we're gonna do some little body rolls here. From down dog, so remember this, bent knees, pressing your chest back, right? That's the action we're gonna find in just a moment. We want to think of our spine sort of unfurling like a rope from your down dog. Start by lifting your heels high off the mat. So we're going to come to the tip toes. Now leading with the hips, begin to roll forward. Good. And then from there, once your shoulders arrive over your wrists, look out. Then we're going to bend and hover the knees. Begin to press the ribcage and chest back towards your thighs, kind of like we just did. Then we're going to straighten our legs back out for a down dog. We'll do this a couple times on the breath. So on your inhale, heels come high, hips start to roll forward. At the top of your inhale, look forward. Bend your knees, press your heart back on the exhale. At the bottom of your exhale, straighten out, down dog. Again. One more. Good. Your next inhale, take your right leg up. On the exhale, let's bend that knee and open up the hip. Drawing your right heel towards your left glute. Keep your right shoulder square by pressing through your palm. Invite some circles into your right hip. Change directions. Good. And then we're going to come back through center and switch sides. Left leg goes up. Open her up. Oh yeah. Taking the heel toward the glute. Still squaring that left shoulder. Big circles. You can always do this from a tabletop as well if you're not vibing on a down dog today. Change directions if you haven't. Good. And let that go. Now from down dog, on an inhale, we're going to roll forward to a high plank. We're going to come down to our knees, untuck our toes, then we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Beautiful. With toes untucked, elbows wrapping back, let's find a little baby cobra. Inhale, peels the heart up, squeezes the elbows to the ribs. Firm up your thighs so that the kneecaps barely begin to lift. Good. Try to hover your hands so it's just the strength of your spine lifting. And exhale to release down. Just take one ear to the mat, arms long to your sides. Beautiful. I'm going to make that cobra just a little bit bigger. Take your chin back to the mat. Now we're just going to take our hands right outside the edges of our mat. We're going to tint up to the very tips of our fingers, like you have cupcakes under your hands, and you don't want to crush them because you want to eat them later, all right? Not that that would stop us. Elbows over the wrists and in line with the shoulders. Thighs still firm, toenails still pressing into the mat. On the inhale, we're just going to press through the fingertips and lift our heart up, just like that baby cobra we did. Look at the top edge of your mat to lengthen through the neck. How's the back of the body feel here? And exhale, release down. Take your opposite ear to the mat, arms long to your sides. Beautiful. Now we're going to make that bigger. Take your chin to the mat. Take your hands outside the top corners of your mat this time. So you'll notice that your arms are further away from your body. We still got those cupcake hands though, right? Elbows come up, and then we press through the fingertips to lift the heart up. Thighs are still firming. Kneecaps are still lifted. Few breaths here. exhale, release down, arms long to your sides. Maybe this time you take your heels up and windshield wiper your legs. Beautiful. All right, let's do one more little baby back bend here. Untuck the toes, chin back to the mat. Now this time, we're gonna take our elbows underneath our shoulders, hugging into the rib cage, right? Forearms straight in front of you, forming an 11. Palms flat, spreading through your fingers. So imagine you're about to go into a forearm plank, except we're not doing a friggin' forearm plank because this is a chill class, and forearm planks definitely aren't chill. So, thighs still firm, kneecaps still slightly lifting. Now we're going to press through our forearms and our spread fingers to lift our heart and broaden our collarbone. This is called our Sphinx pose. You can imagine the Sphinx statue asking you a riddle. Breathe here, shoulders guiding down the back. Focus on the breath. Can you feel the breath expanding both the front and back side of your body? And on your exhale, let's release that down. Now listen carefully here. Take your hands back underneath your chest, right? Elbows wrapping back. You're going to keep the left hand exactly where it is, but take your right arm long out to your side so that your hand parallels your right shoulder, palm is flat. Now draw your left heel up and in towards your left butt cheek. From here, we're going to press through our left hand and allow our left foot to roll us over onto our right side. So notice how that foot is carrying over past my right butt cheek. I'm laying on the right side of my body. We're opening up the front of the right shoulder here. Right ear is down on the mat. You can softly press through your left hand if you want to intensify the stretch. This could already be super intense. Again, this is one of those sort of less examined areas. And then on your exhale, we're slowly going to roll back through center, and we simply switch sides here. Taking the right hand underneath the chest, elbow wrapping back, left arm goes long, palm flat, left ear to the mat, right heel comes in toward the butt, and then we press and roll onto the left side. Notice if this side feels different, more or less intense. Good, and on the exhale, we roll back through center. Both legs long, both hands under the chest, elbows wrapping into the ribs. Let's take a quick baby cobra. Inhale, peel the heart up. Shoulders down and back. And exhale to release down. Tuck your toes, and let's go straight back to a down dog. Take one big breath in and out. From your down dog, we're simply going to step our right foot through between our hands for a low lunge, knee over ankle. Drop your left knee down to the mat and untuck your toes. On the inhale, we take both arms up high, Anjaneyasana. Breathing here. Knit the ribs and hips closed, and then drive the left hip forward. Stretching into the front of the left thigh. If arms up is ever too much, take your hands to your heart. Now we're going to breathe here for a few cycles. You always have the option to add in, say, a twist or a back bend or a side bend. It's your practice, so just make it your own. If having your knee on the mat ever bothers you, you can also slide a blanket or a towel underneath it. Hold here for a big breath in. On the exhale, plant your hands to frame your right foot. And we're going to start to straighten the right leg out as we shift our hips to stack over the left knee for a half split. Toes flex up toward the face. Now this is a pretty big hamstring stretch. If you have tight hammies or a tight low back, you may have a hard time reaching the floor. Totally fine and totally normal, okay? If that is the case for you, if you have yoga blocks, grab those blocks. If you don't have blocks, grab a couple of hardened books and then place them underneath your fingers, by proxy bringing the floor to you, right? Now right now we have the toes flexing up. You always have the option to play with pointing the toes, flexing again, turning your toes to the right or left, or even walking your hands to the outside of your leg. We have a few breaths in this half split. Take any variation you may need. How's your breath? Full breath cycle. Good. Now from here, we're going to bend back into that right knee so it comes over the ankle. Then we're going to start to wiggle your right foot toward the right edge of your mat and bring your right arm inside your right leg for your lizard lunge. So try to keep the knee over the ankle, the big toe pointing forward. Stay grounded to the ball mound of your right foot. Now you can stay right here on your hands because this could already be really intense. If you don't feel this a ton and you would like to go a little bit deeper, you always have the option to take your forearms down to the mat or a yoga block or a book. Wherever you are, focus your breath down to the lowest point in your belly, reaching it all the way down to the pelvis. I think pelvis is my favorite word. I use it a ton. Unclench your jaw. Maybe you close your eyes. Notice if things come up here, and then choose whether or not you examine them. Full breath cycle. If you're on your forearms, come up to your hands. We're going to wiggle the foot back between the legs. We're going to take a very quick half split like we just did. One breath in and out. Coming back to your low lunge. Now we're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up. So we're going to engage low lunge. We're coming straight into a half pigeon from here. So I'm going to slide my right foot behind my left wrist, my right knee behind my right wrist to lower that back into the mat and untuck the toes. From there, we're going to puff the chest. We're going to look over our left shoulder to make sure the ankle, knee, and hip are forming a straight line. Then we're going to square the pelvis forward. Roll your shoulders back. Look up. Nice proud pigeon. Big breath in. On the exhale, begin to walk your hands forward. Maybe your forearms come to the mat, maybe they don't. Just be where you're at, you can't be anywhere else. Again, we're concentrating the breath down to the belly. Maybe closing the eyes. Maybe allowing the forehead to rest on the mat. What can you soften here? And then notice what comes up. Allow your mind to wander. You might be surprised the places it goes. What can you let go of here? Maybe that's physical, maybe that's otherwise. Full breath cycle. On an inhale, slowly begin to walk up to your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Then we're going to send that right leg up and back. Open it up, shake it out. If you feel called to flip your dog, go for it. Otherwise, we're just bringing some blood flow back in and finding our down dog once again. Take a couple beats. I don't always do down dog in our chill classes, by the way. If you haven't done this with me before, I actually normally don't do down dog in these classes. But like I said, it's been a while since I personally have moved, and down dog feels kind of nice right now. All right, from here, on your next exhale, we're simply going to step that left foot through to our low lunge, knee over ankle. We drop the right knee down and we untuck the toes. On the inhale, arms go up, Anjaneyasana. Now remember, we're going to zip the rib cage shut, then drive the hip forward to bring a more intentional stretch into the psoas. Arms up or at the heart. You can play with any variation here, such as a side bend, a twist, or a back bend. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands plant to frame the right or left foot rather. Begin to straighten back out that left leg for your half splits. Hips are stacked over the right knee, not sitting on the right heel. Now you might immediately notice that this side is different. What? I know, our bodies are not always equal or even. So just be where you're at or work with what you got. Toes are flexing, but maybe you play with a little point and flex. You know, the old point and flex. Maybe you play with a little windshield wiper, left and right. For a more intense variation into the IT band, you can come both hands outside the leg. Get a few breaths here. Do what you need to. Hands can always come to blocks or books. Keep the breath steady. cycle. Good. On the inhale, bend back into your left knee. Take it directly over the ankle. Begin to heel toe your left foot to the left edge of your mat, bringing your left arm inside your leg. Place both palms flat. Now again, this side could be totally different than the other, so maybe you stay on your hands, or maybe you're able to go to your elbows where you weren't before. We are going to be here for a few breaths, so just remember, knee over ankle, big toe forward, stay grounded through the ball mound of your foot, and breathe all the way down into the pelvis. Maybe you close your eyes as you drop in. Begin to examine the things that come up. Maybe that's frustration. That's fine. I often find frustration in my lizard pose. Then you have to ask, is this frustration going to serve me right now? Big breath in and out. If you're on your forearms, begin to come up to your hands. Wiggle the foot back between the hands. Take a quick straighten out, back to that half split. Big breath in and out. Good. Bend back into your left knee. Tuck your back toes, plant your hands flat, and lift your right knee up for an engaged low lunge. Slide your left foot behind your right wrist, left knee behind your left wrist, back toes on top. Look over your shoulder. Ankle, knee, and hip form a straight line, then square the pelvis forward. Hands to the outsides of the hips. Puff the chest. Look up. Nice and proud. And on the exhale, begin to fold it on over. It could be different, all right? Be nice to your body. It's doing its damn best. Maybe your forehead comes to the mat. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath and the spaces it fills. Let the mind drift. Unclench your jaw. Cool, my phone has not been charging at all this whole time. Great. But if I lose connection, friends, it's because my phone died, not because I don't love you. Stay in your pigeon. Big breath in. Big breath out. Start to walk back up to your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Down dog as we open the left leg up, shake it out. Bring some blood flow back in. Again, maybe you flip it if you gotta. Take a couple breaths in your final down dog. Notice if it's different than the first. And from down dog, come to take a seat on your knees. Good. We have just a couple cool down shapes. Again, apparently my phone was not charging, so I might lose you all. But I'm here until that happens if it does. So take a seat on your butt, soles of the feet together, knees wide, Baddha Konasana. Your feet do not have to be close to your body, okay? If they are, cool. If they're not, also cool. Find a depth that feels good, all right? Sit bones down, shoulders down the back. Big inhale. And then on the exhale, begin to fold forward. You have a few options. This stretch can be entirely passive, just letting the arms kind of drop on the mat, allowing your muscles to slowly release as you breathe into the pelvis. If this pose is not super natural for you and you would like an assisted stretch, interlace your fingers, hook them around your toes, then you can press your elbows into or around your shins and calves. So again, that will be a way to assist yourself deeper into the stretch, or it can be passive. Neither is better, they're just different. Shapes cannot be better than other shapes because they're what? Just fucking shapes, okay? Low belly breaths. Close your eyes. On the exhales, notice if your muscles are able to relax. Full breath cycle. Good. Your next inhale, slowly use your hands to help press yourself back up. Good. Take your knees together, give a little squeeze. And turn your face forward. And we're going to extend both of our legs long in front of us. Zipping the thighs together, find your sit bones down on the mat. Toes flexing up, arms go up. On the inhale, we're going to draw the navel in and pull up and out of the low rib cage. On the exhale, we're going to reach for the toes. Now again, depending on your flexibility and your desire here, you can have an entirely passive stretch, not even gripping your toes. Palms face up, working with your natural flexibility or mobility. So you can do that, or if you would like to assist yourself deeper, which is the option I'm going to choose today, grip the toes. You can always bend your knees here if you can't reach your toes. Then on the inhales, again, only if you want to work on going deeper, draw the navel in, lengthen up your spine, lift your chest. And on the exhale, see if you can't fold a little bit further. And then breathe just like that. It's like a wave. Inhale, navel in, lengthen, lift. Exhale to fold. So like if you send some breath to the small of your back here. Full breath cycle. And on your next inhale, slowly walk your way up. It's time to lay down on our backs. When you arrive, take your knees to your chest, get a little squeeze, a little rock left and right. I'm just going to do a couple supine twists and then we'll close out. So from here, let's keep the right knee drawn in today. Extend your left leg long. Begin to draw your right knee up and over towards your right armpit. Giving a little squeeze. Maybe point and flex or circle the ankle. And then from there, using your left hand, take your right arm out to your side. Draw your left knee over to the left side as you roll onto your left hip. Look over your right shoulder. Allow your right shoulder to stay grounded. It's not about how far the knee goes. Focus your breath to the low belly and the low back. Full breath. Good. Next inhale, slowly drop through center. Take both knees in, gentle squeeze. And then extend your right leg long. Draw the left knee up and out toward the left armpit, squeezing to the chest. Again, maybe you point and flex or circle. And then you take that right hand to the left shin, take your left arm long to your side, and just guide that knee over. Left shoulder stays grounded. And the breath goes all the way down. full breath cycle. Next, inhale, draw through center. Both knees come in, little squeeze. Let's take a happy baby before we close out today. Ready to grip for the soles of the feet. Feet flex to hands, knees draw in toward the armpits. If you can't quite grip your feet, try gripping the outsides of your shins instead. And just find some play. Rock it around. Flutter your lips. Remember, it's not that serious. It's just a happy baby. Maybe play with straightening your legs out or pulling your toes overhead. And from your happy baby, take your feet together. Take your knees together. Wrap your forearms around your shins and bring your forehead in to meet your knees. Close your eyes. Show yourself some gratitude for making this time for you this evening. Show your body some gratitude for all that it does for you. Take your biggest inhale of your day. Squeeze as tight as you can. And exhale, Shavasana, final rest. Let your arms and legs go long. Toes go wide. Eyelids close. Yogis, please, if you have the time, rest here with me for a couple of minutes. I will guide us out of this. So as you settle in with your eyes closed, return to your natural breath. Release any unnecessary tension. Allow your body to be still as the weight of your shoulders and hips grounds you. And rest easy in stillness, knowing I will guide us out of this. yogis, I will always encourage you to take as long of a Shavasana as you need. There's no rush. This is your practice, so please continue to rest if you would like. If you are ready to seal practice out and would like to do so with me, simply begin to draw your focus back in. Notice that soft rise and fall of your chest and belly. Invite some little wiggles into your fingers and toes. Some gentle circles into your wrists and ankles. Then on an inhale, find a nice big good morning stretch. Reach your arms overhead. Fingers and toes pull away from each other as you lengthen out your spine. Try to keep your eyes closed. Bend into your knees, and on an exhale, just roll onto one side. If possible, eyes remain closed. On an inhale, gently begin to press up to a seat. And a nice tall spine. On an inhale, take your arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart, chin toward chest. I want to encourage you to stay here for a moment, whether it be to simply stay with this connection to your breath and body, to reflect on the intention you set, or maybe you even sit in meditation even after I sign off. As we leave our mats today, can we remind ourselves that sometimes things need to be examined. There's always two sides to things, and it's easy to only see one. So maybe just remind ourselves to flip things over a little bit, right? To look at new perspectives. Let's take a deep breath in. Open mouth, release. Now, as always, friends, the light in me honors, acknowledges, and truly loves that same light in you. Namaste. Beautiful, y'all. Such a pleasure to be back on here live streaming with you. Like I said, it has been a while. I also mentioned that I will not be returning to teach in studio at Black Swan until the end of July or early August. So heads up on that. Please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I should be doing another couple live streams on here. But yeah, you can always reach out to me at the.anna.mc or at Scumbag Yoga. If you'd like to donate for practice, it is welcome. Please do so at blackswanyoga.com/live. Drink lots of water, stay hydrated, be well, and namaste.